Back, ladies and gentlemen, Love Renaissance Radio, SiriusXM The Heat. I am your boy, Justice Wears Cool Pants. This is the greatest show in America, a.k.a. the Black Bobby Brown, even though Bobby Brown's already black, a.k.a. 50 Tyson, a.k.a. The more violent Nelson Mandela.
What?
What's your problem today? I am
You're saying
bringing the heat.
crazy things.
I'm bringing the heat.
You are bringing the heat. What's up, guys? It's Amber Grimes. It's Bacardi if you follow me. Neighborhood Homegirl if you also think this is the greatest show in America. I'm sitting here with the Black 50 Tyson. And
I didn't say the Black 50 Tyson. I said the 50 Tyson.
Oh, the 50 Tyson and the more violent Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
Okay, great. I love this today.
Yeah.
I see where we're going.
Yeah, violence is not the answer, children. But hey, if you have to slap somebody, and that's how we bring the show back. Yeah, you know what's crazy? I was on the Twitter webs yesterday.
Yeah.
And I said something interesting on Twitter, and I feel like it'll make for a great conversation because I really want to hear your thoughts.
What did you say?
I mean, I was basically saying, hey, guys, I think that if you were to push your fans, they might accept you. And also, more so importantly, that when it comes to R&B or hip-hop, I feel like we have more pushing to do. I feel like we're stagnant from a creative space.
When you say push your fans, what do you mean?
Meaning, challenge them in things that they don't expect from you. Mm-hmm. I feel like artists are caught in the space to where they're scared to challenge their fans because they don't want to get any pushback. Yeah. Because the pushback is such in real time, which I do understand that fear, but also, with that fear is allowing everything to feel a little bit stagnated, like creatively.
Because people are only giving people what they think they like.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's because of the type of artists that we have now. No offense to them, people, I love them, but a lot of artists were not truly developed and not truly ready to be artists. Right. And now, instead of building a fan base, sometimes that fan base comes all at once, and you kind of live and die by their criticism because also the fans love y'all too, but y'all crazy. It's kind of like an entitlement and an ownership of the artist now. Like, we made you. Like,
how could you dare?
Don't disappoint me. Give me what I expect from you. And I think there's I think in all time there's very few artists who challenge their fans or are willing to disappoint their fans because they know what they're doing is going to impact them later and they're willing to wait.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree, right? And for me, it doesn't have to be like even like a Prince challenge, right? Like where, Prince will come out with one album, the next album he just be a completely different human. It doesn't have to be that at all. I think it's really just more so like even just the idea of not even sounding like somebody, right? Like there was a time where if you did my album, you're the producer and you did my album, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to go to somebody else to make sure that it's a little bit different. Right. And I feel like it's just kind of like, oh yeah, let's just circulate the sound. Just different bodies.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I mean, Kanye.
Right. But
the only person that does it right. Kanye challenges the fans on every project. And I remember it was maybe like 3-4 years ago when it was all over Twitter that people were like, wow, now I understand Yeezus. It was a masterpiece. Like 8 years later. And I feel like you have to have really tough skin to put something out like that like people are going to say your stuff is shit for over a decade and then come back around and be like, man, that really changed things. Like every artist ain't built like that.
Okay.
All right. We're having an incredible conversation, guys. Welcome back. SiriusXM The Heat. It's your two favorite people in the world talking about the fans and their relationship with the artists and how they dictate the music that the artist makes, or if they should be doing that at all. You said something even more violent on Twitter.
There was another layer to it that got people upset, but a lot of people also agreed, because what sparked me tweeting that was a chart data tweet went out that basically said Harry Styles basically broke a lot of records for any male single this year. And he was aiming for number 1, which I think he ended up getting a number 1.
Harry, my boy.
Congrats to Harry, which I like the song. But anyways, the point was, I was just like, hey, I've been saying this for the last 3 years. I'm like, rap and R&B is gonna get in trouble, and pop is gonna take this thing back. When I say take this thing back, meaning from a mainstream perspective, like the mainstream perspective of dominating, the Billboard Hot 100, and radio, is gonna be taken back, because we are literally in a space to where I'm watching it. And it's because we are not pushing our consumers forward, or pushing the sound forward. We're stuck in a space where, like, naturally, you kind of have to move on.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm watching it.
I think, too, if hip-hop and R&B could embrace what pop means, that pop doesn't mean a song like Harry Styles. It just means popular music. And I think that there's a lot of, it's not even about the fans. I think there's a lot of risk that artists are scared to take, because we're still on this, like, selling out shit. Right. Like, super, like, what is this, the 90s? Like, oh, you're going to be a sellout if you make a song that's upbeat. You're going to be a sellout if you dance in your video. You're going to be a sellout if you sing melodically to a hook, but you're a rapper. Those are all the things I felt like you're saying, help push rap forward. 50 singing melodies, even though Ja Rule started it, help push rap forward. And now I think people are just scared because they don't want to be categorized as pop, because they want to stay true to being a rapper, true to being R&B, when pop just means you want a number 1 or not. Right. I mean, and it's not even just exactly that, right? But it's not even just that. It's really just the fundamentals of music, right? Like, when you're listening to music, it's a pattern, right? And that's the pattern. You want to make the best pattern to get it stuck in somebody's head, right? And there's melody and there's structure, right? So my thing is, like, just even as a genre, if we're not even going to change the beats, at least let's just change the structure. Like, let's just have an intro, right, to introduce you to the song. Let's have a verse. Let's have a hook. Let's have a pre-chorus. Let's bring back bridges.
You know what I'm saying? Let's bring back bridges. Like, let's structure it to where it feels like a complete thought, and it just feels like you tried something. I would love to bring back the bridge on R&B songs. Like, I miss it. My favorite part of some of the best songs ever, and I don't know what people are doing now. I think that they changed the structure, like, by, like, oh, let's break all the rules, and I think that was cool at a point, but I agree with you. Like, let's just bring the rules back. Yeah. I like to bring back real songs. Well, I was saying Kodak Black, if he can structure his songs, he can have songs as big as Nelly did. Yeah. Because naturally he has a great inclination on melody and concepts, and he says things in a very interesting, quirky way. And that's all he's missing in my Nelly is opinion. A great topic of somebody that was pushing it forward. Because I remember, I also wish that some of our rappers, artist period, would get out of the box a little bit, because when Nelly did that country song, All in My Head, it's like one of the most beautiful songs ever. Incredible. And I don't feel like there's enough. Kodak is one of them. I love the song he did with Gucci and Bruno, but that was like Bruno putting shit together. I feel like the artists should do that on their own, and maybe it would be a little less daunting for them to make these different sounds if they would actually collaborate with the artists from those genres. Right. And when those genres accept us, it creates a more beautiful thing. Like, I feel like that's how you open it up. But most people just want to get their, like, Broadway feature. Yeah. Again and again and again. Yeah. And we love Rod. Well, but it's. Man, there's so many moments, like, like I was listening to the Dirk album, and I'm like, damn, there's so many great opportunities here to, like, really, take things to a space of, like, his, I feel like his classic album, he could have had it, but it just a couple tweaking here and there. But regardless, I mean, listen, I think these guys are doing great things, and super proud of them. I think I just want to just control the ball, continue to control it, and I don't want to lose it based on just certain fundamentals. I think the first part, which when I'm in the studio with other A&Rs or other artists that have nothing to do with me, the first thing or the first question that I feel like a lot of A&Rs fail to ask artists is, what's the goal? Right? Like, if you're not identifying what the goal is, you don't even know where you're supposed to head. Are you just getting in the studio to make music? Okay, cool. So if the question is, hey, I want to make, a critically acclaimed album, okay, so you have to understand what that means. It means you have to work with critically acclaimed musicians, right? And or you just have to look at the common denominators in critically acclaimed albums and try to, give your best version of that. Or if it's, I just want to make an album full of hits, okay, cool. What are hits to you? How do you define hits? And what's your version of that? Okay, cool. You don't want to do that. Whatever it is, the point is understanding your goal will help you guys have a better direction. And as A&Rs, I feel like you have to lead the artist in direction, right? So if you guys come to the same page, it's your job now to find inspiration, find additives that could add to the process. Whether it's, reference songs, demos, certain producers, certain artists, certain like minds, whether it's certain movies, all these things that I like to incorporate in my process. So the artist kind of gets lost in the world of creating the album. So it becomes a whole thing to where you kind of believe it. So I just say all that to say it's kind of just it's really mapping out what the process is going to be and not just making songs. And I really feel like people just get in the studio and they make songs and they really don't understand, an album or a song in itself is like a movie, is like a film. It's the promotion, right? So everything kind of has to make sense. And I feel like people need to get on the same page of what that goal is. That would be my first advice before we go anywhere else. But
that's great advice. Yeah. Horn yourself. I was going to horn you, but you got it.
Horn.
Those were gems. Thank you. What would you say, I guess, to the artists if they're not being pushed by anyone else about taking more risk and really standing on the music that they believe in, that they want to put out, regardless of if the fans don't like it immediately?
Well, it depends on which level the artist is, right? And you also have to know who you're dealing with. You have to know the sensitivities of certain people. Certain people just want to be liked. That's just what they're getting into, which essentially every artist wants to be liked. But I think certain people, that's just kind of more important than, putting out something that might be challenging. But if, my advice to artists, if, you're getting pushback is, listen, you have to make people see your vision. They weren't with you in the studio. They weren't with you in the conversations. They weren't with you when you were pulling your references. They might not even be privy to those references. It might be a different generation that doesn't understand what you're doing. You have to put the medicine, in the candy and really take them through the vision, and not by explaining yourself on Twitter. It's no, just doing a better job of, shooting proper videos, collaborating with more artists in that space. I love, the move that Lotto did, with Adam Mariah on the record. And that's not to say where it's just oh, she did something that, was groundbreaking, but more so it's just she is walking people
She's standing
through,
on that song.
She's walking people through that song. And you have to understand, it's you're selling something. Nobody ever sells something and it's a yes. If it's a yes, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to break the mold.
I think that we should bring an artist in here and speak to them directly about this. I don't know who it's going to be yet, but I would love for us to bring an artist on this show. We'll figure it out and have this same conversation with them because I want their real feedback.
Yeah.
I loved this show. Thank you for being volatile on Twitter, or we wouldn't be here. Love Renaissance Radio, SiriusXM The Heat. Thank you guys for having us. We're so sorry about the talent show today. We're going to do better next week. We love you guys. We'll see you again. Peace.
Peace.
Love Renaissance Radio, SiriusXM The Heat.
Black Bobby Brown, even though Bobby Brown's already black.
I can only imagine what your girlfriend has to deal with moving in with you.
Love Renaissance.
Hell on earth.